This is the Barbados Today evening news for Tuesday, January 23rd. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary Claire Williams. Our top story this evening, 2 men have been arrested in connection with the January 6th robbery at Golden Sands Hotel. Members of the Major Crimes Unit have arrested and jointly charged Hakeem Joe Isaiah Robinson of 24 Bartlett's Tenantry, Sergeant's Village, Christchurch, and Akeem Ricardo Bourne of number 2 5th Avenue, Wildy, St. Michael, and 385 Emerald Park, West 6 Road, St. Philip. They are jointly charged with 2 counts of aggravated burglary, robbery of Emerson Trotman, 8 counts of endangering lives by discharging a firearm in a public place. Robinson also faces additional charges of burglary, aggravated burglary, robbery, serious bodily harm, possession of cannabis, possession of cocaine, possession with intent to supply, and trafficking of cocaine. The pair is expected in the Oistins Magistrates Court tomorrow. One of the island's leading academics is suggesting that social and economic reports produced by global institutions on Barbados should be taken with a pinch of salt. Director of the Sir Arthur Lewis Institute of Social and Economic Studies, Dr. Don Marshall, told a roundtable discussion at UWI Cave Hill this morning that their method of data collection is seriously flawed and open to manipulation. He said he is particularly concerned about the approach of international rating agencies, Transparency International, and the Global Competitiveness Business Report.
The challenges, for example, you're telling them you cannot come to a small country and ask of a small group, because it is a small group, of business persons, their opinions on the political, economic, and social climate annually. You can't do that annually. But their demand is to produce an annual statistical digest reader, as it were, in the Global Competitiveness Report. So you see Barbados is moving up or moving down. But if you want methodological rigor, you want to be doing this over 2-3 year cohorts, because invariably we are finding ourselves tearing out the same group of people to whom we are canvassing their views all the time. And that's just for the Global Competitiveness Report. It has nothing to do with our individual projects, where we are asking members of the private sector to respond to challenges that we see. So all of them are going through fatigue. But that speaks to how something global and grandiose as a World Competitiveness Report can be open to manipulation and abuse. And also as it relates to credit rating agencies. It's something that we don't want to tackle, but their methodology is highly flawed.
Coordinator of the Financial Business and Economics Department, Dr. Troy Lord, was among panelists, and he recommended the re-establishment of a development bank in Barbados to assist the private sector in pushing development here.
I think, though, that one of the main problems that the private sector has, and the reason where it's concerned, is that it doesn't really know how to price projects that have a development focus as their main objective. I think they're able to price this risk. I think they can price things like the risk of selling a car 5 to 7 years to get back your money, pricing a mortgage 30 years, do things like see what your expenses are, what you're earning, and they can price these types of things. But my belief is really that they are able to probably price the risk of these projects. And I think in that sense, then what they really need is something like, I guess, a market leader. And this is where a development bank, either nationally or regionally, what have you, to help the private sector where funds are available. I suspect what they want to have is basically private sector criteria for valuing the risk and in terms of what the returns are.
The discussion was held under the theme, The Relevance of Sir Arthur Lewis's Work to the Challenges of Caribbean Development. Barbados will continue to ensure it is a well-regulated jurisdiction that is in compliance with international standards. That assurance today from the Ministry of International Business after Barbados was removed from an EU blacklist of tax havens. Grenada was also removed from the list, which was published last month and included 17 countries. At the time, the EU Council of Ministers said they did not sign or ratify the OECD Multilateral Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance as amended, and did not clearly commit to addressing these issues by December 31st, 2018. A statement issued by the EU this morning said the 8 jurisdictions were removed from the EU's list following high-level commitments to remedy EU concerns. The Ministry of International Business says Minister Donville Innes is now heading a delegation in Paris, where he will sign a multilateral convention at the OECD tomorrow. This will implement tax treaty-related measures to prevent base erosion and profit shifting.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. St. Kitts opposition leader Dr. Denzel Douglas was today suspended from Parliament following a heated exchange with the Speaker of the House. It followed Douglas's attempt to respond to an announcement by Attorney General Vincent Byron that the government had filed a fixed-date claim from the High Court to rule on whether or not Douglas possessed a diplomatic passport from another country. Last October, Prime Minister Timothy Harris accused Douglas of holding a Dominican diplomatic passport and said his administration would move to the High Court to have him expelled from Parliament. Dr. Douglas has denied holding a Dominican passport. And on the international scene, China and South Korea have condemned steep import tariffs on washing machines and solar panels imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. And Seoul says it plans to complain to the World Trade Organization over what it calls an excessive move. Europe also said today it regretted the U.S. decision and would react firmly if EU exports were hit by the tariffs. We get the details in this Reuters report.
Asian nations crying foul over Donald Trump's new moves on trade. On Monday, the U.S. president slapped tough taxes on 2 imports, washing machines and solar panels. It's the first big steps by Trump in his America First drive to set up barriers he says are needed to safeguard U.S. industry. The taxes are a setback for China, the world's biggest solar panel maker, who blasted the move as an overreaction. And it's a big blow to South Korea's LG and Samsung as well. Seoul says it will go to the World Trade Organization to complain.
We regret the latest U.S. safeguard measures against our industry. They're excessive and would clearly violate WTO rules.
Trump's new tariffs aim to boost companies at home like washer maker Whirlpool. But some South Korean analysts tell Reuters they think this is political. They believe Trump is trying to ratchet up pressure on Seoul to rely more on the U.S. when it comes to North Korea, as well as gaining leverage to reshape a free trade deal Trump has called horrible. Recent records show South Korea has already been preparing for the dispute, asking the WTO this month if it could hit the U.S. with sanctions worth more than $700 million over washers, and even more if Washington breaks the same rules with other imports.
And that's news this evening. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Have a good evening.